Well, good morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you along with me this morning as we end out the week. And whoa, what a great week this has been. A busy week here at the Maranatha Baptist Church, and seeing souls saved, going soul winning. Had a great service on Wednesday night, and then we got to meet with the parents for the school last night, and then even today we're going to try to finish up the getting the trusses on the faith building, and I'm excited about what God's doing. Then going into the weekend to see the Lord bless in a tremendous way. I'm excited about what the Lord's doing. Boy, these are great days to see God do things. When the finances are tight and when things are uncertain in society, I'm glad there's one thing that is certain, and that is Jesus Christ. And boy, how we've got a great day to serve the Lord. And I hope that you're doing everything you can in your power to be your best for Christ. How we need that in today's world, to be our best for Christ, no matter what we do. Be your best. Do your best. Oh, that's what we need in this day and age. Well, today, I want to read to you from Mark chapter 4 and verse 19, where the scripture says, "And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful." Now, this verse is a story, sadly, of many very good people. This verse does not say that they immediately stopped being fruitful, but that they becometh unfruitful. Notice those two words, becometh unfruitful. It was a slow process that made a person to become unfruitful. That process consisted of them dabbling in the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches. And the more they invested themselves in materialism, the colder their heart became until they were no longer fruitful. Now, nobody backslides quickly. They gradually go cold until they're out of church and living in sin. That's how it always happens. They always have a good excuse, but they end up backsliding out. Peter had some great excuses, but can I just tell you, Peter did not immediately deny the church, his faith, and his God. But it started slowly when he slept in the garden when he should have been praying. Lot did not immediately live a wicked life, but it was when he cast his tent toward Sodom until he finally moved into the city and became a part of their worldly system. That was what destroyed him, was when he cast his tent. You see, Dinah did not immediately get tied in with a heathen man, but she went out to see the daughters of the world and ended up getting pregnant by a lost man. Every one of these instances, they did not plan to get to where they got, but they got there. It was just a slow process. Backsliding is a gradual cooling. Nobody intends to backslide. They always have a good reason, but they just gradually cool from the things of God. They slowly lose the fire they once had until they're out of church and living in the world. Now, you cannot get tied into the cares of this world without those cares cooling you down from the things of God. The cares of this world will choke out the fire of God until the things of God no longer interest you. Let me share just a few truths with you about this thing of this gradual cooling that happens in a life of a believer who backslides first. We must live in this world. You cannot get around that. We have to live here, but you don't have to join the world to live in it. That's the key right there. I have to work a job in the world to pay my bills, but I don't have to run with those on the job because I work with them. I have to go to the grocery store to get groceries, but I don't have to become a part of the lives of those in that store. I have to purchase clothing from the world, but I don't have to let the worldly lifestyles become a part of my life. You see, I have to save money for retirement, but I don't have to go to the get-rich seminars that cool my mind to the things of God. Understand, we must live in this world. There's no getting around that. But just because you live in this world doesn't mean you have to join it. Second, you won't see the effects the world has on you. This is what's so dangerous. Many think they are the same as they have always been, but they don't see the gradual cooling of their heart toward the things of God. The world has a way of slowly cooling your heart toward God. Satan is not trying to get you to jump all into the world. He simply just tries to get you, he lures you one step at a time toward the world. Satan knows that if you will take one step toward the world, that you will be willing to take another step. You see, the deadliest step in the believer's walk is that first step away from Christ and toward the world. If you never take the first step, my friend, you'll never grow cold towards the things of God. Third, you avoid becoming unfruitful by focusing on bringing forth fruit for God. So let your life be a life that is wrapped up in seeing souls saved. Let your heart be immersed in the reaching the lost for Jesus Christ. And when your life is about serving God, your heart will never become cold. You stay away from the cares of this world, my friend, by serving him in his yoke. God says, take my yoke upon me and learn of me. What's he saying? He's saying, you lay down the cares of this world to take on the yoke of Christ, and the cares of this world will never take these hands and this heart and this mind, because I'm in the yoke with Christ. He says, you keep your mind off of the cares of this world. Get this now. By keeping my mind focused on the harvest of being in the yoke with Christ. You see, if you stay in the yoke with Christ and to reach the lost, the cares of this world will never cool your heart to the point that you become backslidden and unfruitful. Can I tell you, many a person has just taken that one little step. They didn't know it. It was just a gradual turning, just a gradual. And Satan just gets us sidetracked just a little bit. It was that first step that you missed church. You took a job that took you out of church, one service. And then before long, you find yourself missing 2 services. Then before long, you find yourself missing 3 services. Then before long, you change churches. And then before long, you're upset with everything about God and you drop out of church. Oh, what happened to the fire, my friend? What happened? You just took that first step. You see, that's all Satan's trying to get you to do. He's trying to get you to take the first step, because if you'll take one step, he also knows you're going to take the second. The key is never take that first step. Never allow the things of this world to pull you away. Oh, I live in the world, but I don't have to join them. My friend, if I stay in the yoke, this is the one key that people don't understand. I live in the world. Listen now, I live in the world. I work in the world. So it'll finance my ability to stay in the yoke with Christ. Not to get wrapped up in the cares of this world, but to stay in the yoke with Christ. That's the key. And when I keep that the key and the focus of my life, I want to tell you right now, that's what keeps us. Why? Draw nigh to God and he'll draw nigh to you. Likewise, if I turn on God a little bit, he kind of turns on me. I hate to say it that way. That's what happens. As I turn, he turns. God always takes that drawing. That's one step closer. So if I take a step closer, God takes a step closer. But when I draw back, God draws back. You see, I'm the one. God only reacts. He's a reactor. He reacts by what we've done. And when I've taken that first step, God backs off. Says, oh, I'm not going to intrude on you. I want you to want me. It's what God says. I want you to want me. But you got to take that step. Many a person, for a sincere reason, for a good excuse, drew away from God. One step, they said, just one, but they find themselves backslidden, just a gradual cooling. I want to challenge you today. Let's be careful about the gradual cooling, and let's stay focused on God, and let's stay focused. I live in the world so I can finance my ability to stay in the yoke with Christ. You stay in that yoke, and my friend, you can keep that heart passionate towards God. As long as you're by the side of God, you'll never pick up the cares of this world. But the very second you let down that yoke for one moment to take up the cares of this world, let me tell you what happens. All of a sudden, the cares of this world start drawing your attention away from Christ and from the harvest. And before long, you're out of church. Let's not let that happen to any of us. How about that? Well, this weekend, you be in church wherever you go to church. If you happen to be in the Oklahoma City area, come visit us at the Maranatha Baptist Church. We would love to have you. And then remember today, be good to